beat making basics.
What's good, YouTube? It's your man FJ Music. I'm the owner of Beat Making Basics, and in today's video I'm going to be helping people who are new to Logic Pro 10 get into creating beats quickly. Okay, so this is a quick start guide on how to make beats quickly in Logic Pro 10 for people who maybe you've been using FL Studios or Reason or some other DAW. This is the video for you. Okay, if you're new to the channel, please do me a favor and like and comment on the video, and then also subscribe to my channel. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, when you first open up Logic Pro 10, the first option that they're going to give you is to actually create a new track. If you look right here, it's these little boxes represent different tracks you can create. You can do a software instrument track, which for producers, that's going to be the main track we're going to be using. But we also have an audio track, so just in case you want to come in here and record a live instrument, a guitarist, a bass player, different things like that. We also have this drummer track, which is like basically a loop that you can edit, different type of drum loops you can edit. They have extra MIDI and then guitar and bass, but for our purposes, we're going to work with a software instrument track. All right, now once you have that selected, you want to look under here where it says details, and as you can see here, it says instrument. You can either go with a default patch, or we have several different sound banks that you can choose from. You know what I'm saying? Like several different sound banks you can choose from. For right now, we're going to go with this default patch. If you're new to Logic, I would go ahead and select this option, open library. That way you can actually see the different sounds and have quick access to the different sounds that's in Logic. Make sure that under audio output is audio output 1 and 2 is selected, and then also you want to select the device that you're using. Now, me personally, right now, I don't have my computer connected to a digital audio interface. I'm using a Yeti stereo microphone to record this tutorial, so that's why I have my settings like this. But say if you have a Focusrite digital audio interface, all you have to do to get the output is look for that there and then select it, and then the input, same deal. Okay, and then push apply. All right, once you have all those things set up, just click create, and you're ready to go for the most part. Now, check this out. This is pretty much the workspace window. This is where all the magic's gonna happen. This is where you're gonna see your tracks along a timeline and things like that. If you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can do that here over at the top right of the screen. You know what I mean? You could also, like if you have an Apple mouse, hold down option and scroll up or down on your mouse, or left or right, and it will zoom in or zoom out that way. But yeah, this is pretty much everything, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's just look at the top here. You have these different little buttons or boxes. These are all connected to different windows, at least on the right and the left of the screen. So like this first box, this will pull up your library. Okay, this box right here pulls up what we call an inspector tool. Okay, and what the inspector does is it gives you some mixing options and some other advanced options when it comes to editing your track, or maybe adding effects and stuff like that. So like for instance, if you don't have that selected, you're just going to see your tracks listed down this way, and all you can do to edit them or mix them is to move the volume up and down, pan it left or right, and basically record. So if you have the inspector selected, you can also add effects. Come over here and add, like, amp, distortion, dynamic effects like compressors and stuff like that. And then you can also send this signal to an auxiliary track, and for more advanced producers and engineers and stuff like that, you kind of understand that. Got your EQ right here ready to go. You know what I mean? You can also come over here and select a quantization on each track if you want to. Okay, and so that makes it pretty simple to create. So let's just go ahead and get straight into like making a beat. The first thing, obviously, when you're making a beat, you want to make sure you have the right tempo, and so you can select that right here in the middle. This is you can do see things in different ways. You can see beats and time. So say if you wanted to just look at things to the minutes, seconds. So it's 2 minutes and 51 seconds. You can say, all right, cool, I want to make a song that long. You can come over here to the end marker and bring him to the end of that, and then that's going to be your song. But for the most part, to select tempo, you want to be under beats and project. Okay, so we'll select 130, and you see that you have your time signature and your key here, and you just push enter to bring that playhead to the beginning, and you can start creating. So what we'll do here is I'll just do a basic little melody. So do something like that. All right, so you got a basic melody now, right? In Logic, it makes it simple to edit it. You know what I mean? You go ahead and select a loop like this. And as you heard, you have your metronome. You want to turn that off. All you have to do is click right here. And then this is a count in. So just depending on how you create, you can click off the count in or click on the count in, or the metronome as well. But to edit it, you go over here to this top box right here with the scissors. And then this is going to pull up your piano roll, and that's going to be where you can edit your MIDI notes here. So you could do a couple of different things. You can highlight everything by pushing Command A, and then you can quantize it with these different metrics right here. So I could put a basic swing on it, 16, and it sounds like this. But if I wanted to sound a little more jazzy, I can pull the swing up. All right, yeah, I don't want to get too advanced with this, but you can also go over here and click on this guy, and this is where you could actually select like different metrics to adjust. But let's go to note of velocity, and this is where you can actually make sure that nothing's hitting too loud or whatever. And I can bring those down. You feel me saying? Or you can come over here and highlight everything, and then just make everything sound the same, and then turn down the actual track. All right, so that's basically how you get started on that. Obviously, when it comes to building the beat, you want to go ahead and create more tracks. So in order to do that, you're going to hit this little plus sign, and you're back to square one. And so you have different things you can have access to. But let's just do like this. Let's say if you want to go ahead and, start creating some drums. Well, if you have your own drum sounds, what I would recommend doing is going to the quick sampler. And that's right there. So you're going to go under here, software instrument track, under instrument, go down to this quick sampler, stereo, push create. Okay, and in this instance you don't necessarily need to open the library, so you can turn that off. All right, now this is the quick sampler. It's called quick sampler for a reason. It makes it simple and easy to drag and drop samples into it, save them, and edit them, manipulate them and stuff like that. Let's say that you have an account with Splice or some other sample company or whatever. Type in snare. I already had it already ready to go, and you can just like bring in your own snares here. So say we like this snare right here, push that, and it makes it super simple. I can just come over here, it's gonna be at the top, and just drag that joint right in here. Now you can do original or optimize. Probably for just bringing in like one shots, you want to go ahead and go with original. It's going to use the original tuning, loudness, looping, length, and everything like that. And you want to use optimize, like say if you're actually bringing in a loop. So you could just go right here, and now I have access. I can literally come on my MIDI keyboard and play this. So now if I want to play this, with this, I can just go ahead and go up here, push record, or push R on the keyboard. All right, cool. And then again, if you wanted the metronome to play while you're doing that, just make sure this is selected up here, or to do a count in like that. You know what I mean? Same process. Go to the scissors, and then I can scroll it like that. And you know, just you can do your scroll ins like that, or over here, or use the mouse. But you just highlight everything, and then click right here for Q. Once you select the settings you want for quantization, I can bring the note velocity up. Let's check this out. Same difference if you want to drag in your own kick drums and whatever. You know, create a software instrument track, quick sampler, stereo, boom. Make sure everything is good right here. Push create, and then I can come over here and just push kick. Bring that bad boy in like that. And now you're ready to create. It's that simple. And so I'm going to turn that on. And of course, if I didn't like the drum loop, I can come in here and I can mess around with the MIDI notes as well. Zoom in and create like my own MIDI notes. All you got to do that is just hold down Command, and you can draw in the MIDI notes anywhere you want. So that's simple. Take the velocity up, make sure this is selected. Naming tracks is simple too, man. All you got to do is just come over here and double click, and I can name it whatever I want. Piano, snare, kick. Pretty simple here. Now let's say if you wanted to actually add in a loop instead of this, like playing something, you mute that out, and you can go over here to this loop option, and that's called Apple Loops. Simple. You can search different loops, royalty-free loops that you can use free of charge. You don't have to pay any type of subscription or anything. It comes with Logic, and you can search different ones either by instrument, genre, or descriptive words. Or you can actually search right here and just type in what you want. You can also check these options. You can pick a different type of scales. You know what I'm saying? Time signature, a lot of different things. So like, say if I wanted to do a piano, you know what I'm saying? I got minor, got key signature of 4/4. Now I can have all the different piano loops that I have access to right here. So let's just pick one. All right, so you can drag that in a couple different ways. You saw how I just took it and dragged it right in here. But obviously, I have to come in here and edit this loop. You know what I'm saying? I had to come in here and chop it up and everything like that using this playhead and everything. Now, a quick and better way to do this would be to take this and drag it over here. And as you can see, I can create a new track with this loop. And what you want to do is go to this quick sampler. And so what I'll do is I'll come over here to original or optimized. Bring that in, and then I can chop it up like this, move these guys around, or I can just go to classic mode and I can come over here and play it. Cool thing about this is you can forward or reverse this. That's simple. And then I can come over here and click this option, and this is going to follow the tempo. And so like, let's just check this out. And you can kind of see how you can kind of get in here and create some fire, you know what I'm saying? It's that simple. And then you can come over here and actually edit this just like you would, you know, other MIDI notes and stuff. So you can just click here, click on the scissors, and I can come over here and edit this, quantize it, whatever, you know. So actually that's pretty dope. I'll kind of keep building this real quick. You can come over here, click on this to create a new track, and you can use this quick sampler for anything, man. So like create, and say if I wanted to go over here and get an 808, you can go back to Splice or whoever you want and just push 808, find the 808 you want. Let's just say we want to get that one. Let's drag that over here like this, and I can just click there. You know what I mean? You just get, you know, quick guide, man, to getting started, man, like you said, you know. So Alright, and then this is where you can come in here again, click on this, go to the scissors, you can edit those MIDI notes, that simple, quantize it, and you're ready to go. Like say if I wanted to bring this MIDI note up, I can say, alright, let me just drag, like you know, adjust this or edit this MIDI note. I can adjust it like that. I can draw in a different MIDI note by pushing on Command. Delete that. You know what I'm saying? Just something simple right here. And then this is another trick I'll show you, and then we're pretty much going to wrap this up here in a second. If you highlight the notes and then click, like right click on it and go down to force legato, it will bring all the notes to the very end. And so this is very special when it comes to actually like creating 808s. Just makes it sound like cleaner. You know, and I can come over here and adjust certain things too, like, you know what I mean, it just makes a whole lot, the creation process pretty easy. So when it comes to creating beats in Logic Pro 10, so this is the kicks. I could, like I said, I can line this up right here, take this little playhead and line it up with the 808, and I can come over here, go to my editor, and then draw in a note. I can click this note, and it's going to create the same length note right here, right? Just so it follows the 808 pattern. If I wanted to do that, I can make that smaller and then click right here. And now we're following the 808 pattern. You see what I'm doing? It's pretty cool. Like, you could, you know, chop up a lot of different things in this. So now let's listen to it. And so it is something that you could do here. I can double tracks too by pushing Command D to double it. So like highlight the track you want to double, and now I have that same sample here. I can come over here, click on that, and instead of reversing, I can make it go forward. Mute that bad boy out, and now we have a whole nother vibe. Actually, this is kind of turning into a hard beat. So, not kind of, it's turning into a hard beat, you know what I mean? So, just to show you the whole process here. Maybe turn the volume down on this. You can just swap this out. And then, of course, it's like when it comes to like editing this, like if I wanted to, like this is again the workspace window. And I can just take this and drag this or copy and paste this. Okay, so say if I want to copy and paste this, this is the playhead. I can take it right here, hold down Command C, and then do Command V, and it's going to paste this all the way out like that. And then I can delete these different sections to basically track out my beat. You feel me? That other piano thing we were doing, what is that? We're going to delete that. That was, you know, this is the new beat. Naming the tracks is simple. Again, you can just pretty much just click on the track and then name it. You feel me? And I can just say, okay, piano 1, piano 2, and what was this? This is the 808. Boom. You know what I mean? And you pretty much have a good look at what you got going. Let's say if you wanted to do a quick track out on everything, I could come over here and just delete certain things, obviously. Like, so I'm going to highlight this. Quick tip, if you highlight everything and push Shift Option N, what you name here will be right here in the workspace window. But say if I was going to do a quick little track out on this, right? I can just like delete certain things and I'll let it come in. So let's All right, and I just was showing you quickly how you can kind of just edit the beat out and kind of map it out into like a track out. What I was doing is you saw me dragging stuff. I was just highlighting it. You also want to move this guy, and then I was holding down the option, and you can just drag it, and then after you finish dragging it, release option, and you're good to go. But yeah, that's pretty much that. This beat is hard. I'm pretty much gonna keep on working with this and add some hi-hats maybe and some different little things to make it dope. But let's just say if you were done with this beat as is, you know what I'm saying, you already mixed it. By the way, to go ahead and get into mixing the beat, all you had to do is go right here where you see these little knobs, and that's your mixer. Okay, you can adjust the volume and stuff like that, the panning, everything like that, right in here. And you can also add effects as well. So say if I wanted to add a compressor, equalization or things like that, I can do that there. And come over here, do an additive limiter so it doesn't peak here on the stereo output. And now I got a hard beat right here that's ready to go. Yeah, so this is a dope beat. I'm definitely gonna put this on my beat site, man. Y'all could check out the finished version later, but on my website, which is the link below. But let's say if you want to go ahead and break, bounce this track down to like an MP3 or WAV file, all you got to do is hold down Command and push B. You can do it like that, or it'll bring it different options up for you to bounce down the track. Or you can go over here to the top where it says file and bounce it down like that, project or selection. As you can see, it says Command B. And I can go over here and select wave, 24-bit or 16-bit to sample rate. I can move that up or down if I want to. And I always put some normalized off on these. You know what I'm saying? I can put it like that. And then push OK. And then it will show me like where I want to put it. So if I want to put it down on the desktop and just give it a name, we'll say, Owl Life or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We'll just name it something crazy like that. And you push the bounce. All right. You also want to make sure you actually save your track. It's pretty simple. You push Command S and that will bring this up and you can save it like that right into Logic. I'm gonna call this mug Owl Life. I might give it a better name than that, but overall that's the vibes on that. And then say if you wanted to track it out or bounce down the track stems, okay, you go to File and then go to Export, and all tracks is audio files. And now you can pick somewhere on your computer, usually the desktop, create a new folder. I could say Owl Life, track stems, create your folder here, and then you have different options here. Now usually with that I would just do waves, 24-bit, and I leave this stuff alone. I don't bypass the effects normally, but if you wanted to, you could do that. You can do overload protection only, and then export it. And it's that simple. So that's pretty much just a basic overview of how to quickly get started making beats and everything like that in Logic Pro 10. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that. There's more like features and things of that nature that you could, have access to in this program. But, I mean, hopefully this video helps get you started, man. And, gives you a little confidence when it comes to making beats in Logic Pro 10, especially if you are brand new to the software, what I mean? So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.